Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome to Duality 7X. I'm your host Shiraz. I'm going to talk a little bit about Conor McGregor and Max Holloway, the fight that's upcoming here. And there's a lot of context to this because there's been a lot that's been said between both of these guys. So I just kind of want to take you into it. Uh, if you guys can, please smash a like and subscribe. Like especially because for whatever reason, I don't know if I've got shadow banned by YouTube or what, I don't know, but my videos automatically just all of a sudden we're going like this and now they're just spiraled down. I don't know. Maybe I suck, maybe I'm not good at this stuff. Whatever. I've seen a lot of other crap out there that's worse than mine. And so I don't know. It's just for a while now, I don't know if you guys know, but I've been hacked and my channel was out of commission for almost 2 weeks. That could have probably done some damage. But nonetheless, here, guys, enough of my whining rant. If you guys can smash a like and subscribe, it'd be greatly appreciated. It'd certainly help out. Anyhow, let's get to Conor McGregor because he might actually be walking into UFC 329 with probably the same dangerous left hand he's always had, but then there's a guy by the name of Max Holloway who pointed something out, something pretty important that you don't want to miss. And it's not like, here's the thing. He doesn't fear the power. He doesn't fear the name. He doesn't even sound focused on the early rounds. Essentially, what he's going to do is he's going to drown Conor McGregor. These are the words from Max Holloway. He's going to drown Conor McGregor. He doesn't fear his power. He doesn't fear his name. And he doesn't even sound focused on the early rounds. He's going to drown him. These are the haunting words from Max Holloway. And guaranteed, guys, guaranteed, Conor McGregor has heard it. He's not happy with it. And when a fighter like Holloway talks about deep waters, that's not trash talk, guys. Essentially, what he's trying to do is to send the notorious one a warning, a message. He's ready and he's coming at him. That's pretty scary stuff. And if Max Holloway is right, this isn't a comeback fight for McGregor, guys. This is going to be a survival test, if anything, right? Especially having been away for years from elite competition. I mean, most people are completely missing what that actually means. And I don't think a lot of reporters or people trying to cover this story or the angles are actually even talking about this. I mean, yeah, they do say that Conor McGregor's been away, but they never go deep into that and how that lack of activity could actually pose more of a hindrance, if anything, because these are the kinds of things that I'm telling you could be absolutely detrimental to Conor McGregor's comeback. Uh, First of all, Conor is an incredibly talented, gifted fighter, but Max has been the more active fighter as of late, and Conor McGregor, yeah, he hasn't been active in the octagon, but he's been quite active on social media for a lot of reasons, some of them the wrong reasons, right? So anyways, let me frame the context, guys. Let's frame the setup because Max Holloway and Conor McGregor, they're finally set for their rematch. UFC 329 Las Vegas. It's happening July 11th, guys, right around the corner. And look, their first fight, the first time that these guys fought, was over a decade ago. McGregor won a unanimous decision back in 2013. And look, before either of these guys became global MMA figures, well, I would say Conor McGregor more of a global MMA figure than Max Holloway, and that's not to undermine Max Holloway's ability or capability as a fighter, but clearly Conor McGregor, the notorious one, was able to render more of that global reach just because of his stardom, his fan power, and the numerous different things that he's been embroiled in, some good, some bad. But that said, since McGregor became a two-division champion, and perhaps one of the biggest, if not the biggest, MMA stars that we've seen for quite some time, Holloway was actually building a legendary run of his own, becoming one of the most respected volume strikers in UFC history. And now these two, they're going to meet again in the octagon. And Holloway's message heading into this is quite simple: pressure, pace, and drowning McGregor over time. Yes, guys. So here's why all this matters, right? This isn't about who hits harder anymore. I mean, I don't even know if it's about that anyway, but it's really about what happens after the fight leaves the first round, right? Because, I mean, we're talking about Conor McGregor's lack of activity as of late. He hasn't fought in quite some time. So people are going to be questioning his stamina, right? And I mean, like, when I say quite some time, he hasn't been active since 2021, right? I mean, that's some time being out of the cage, right? But in MMA, that actually changes everything, right? You're talking about footwork, you're talking about timing, speed, reactions, durability, and having the ability to make those key decision-making moments, especially under pressure. And that's, in a sense, that's what really separates the champions in the UFC compared to everyone else, right? Because it's just that understanding, that ability to make that hairline decision, knowing that you're pretty much going all in, and whatever happens, you're going to have to face the ramifications of your decisions. And sometimes people call it right, sometimes people don't. So the real question isn't, can Conor win early? The real question is, what does Conor McGregor going to look like in a deep, grinding, fist to fist, you know, combat situation with Max Holloway in 2026, right? And right now, nobody really actually knows because, I mean, Holloway, you have to understand, like, Holloway isn't talking like someone who's trying to survive Conor McGregor's power, or somebody who's got to figure out how to just weather the storm. Max Holloway's talking about outpacing him, outworking him, and beating him at his own game. I mean, that tells me that's somebody who's literally going in there quite confident, knowing that whatever game plan that they have going into this match is most likely going to be a winner, and that's going to be the deciding factor, right? And if you want to try to break this down further, Max Holloway's entire career is built on one thing: pace. Pace. He outpaces people. He doesn't need that perfect overhand right out of the sky or that lucky uppercut. He's going to outwork you. All right? That forward pressure could be very tough to deal with, especially if you haven't been in a cage for about 5 years. That's pretty tough. That's a tough pill to swallow. So now, yes, he's going to need volume. He's going to need output. He needs repetition until that opponent technically breaks down mentally and physically. And essentially, I think, guys, I just pretty much put together a blueprint for you as to what Max Holloway intends to do when he goes into his fight against Conor McGregor July 11th in Las Vegas. That's the blueprint. They're going to drown him. They're going to overwork him. They're going to overwhelm Conor McGregor. That's exactly what he's describing. Not a moment, not a process. Now compare that jazz to Conor McGregor, because McGregor at his peak was probably one of the most efficient early round strikers, finishers in UFC history. Nobody's disputing that. But that style was all built on his timing, his speed, and his ability to just get it done in like Mike Tyson used to in his prime. Within the first minute, they always used to say, don't go anywhere. Don't go to the bathroom. Don't be at the concession stand grabbing your fries and pretzel, because the first round is usually the most explosive round, especially when you're watching guys like Mike Tyson. And Conor McGregor, very, very similar in that sense. I mean, his style was built purely on being explosive, and he had full of confidence going into his bouts, right? And those are the first things to get tested after long layoffs like this, especially the kind of layoff that Conor McGregor has had as of recent, right? And we're not just talking about rust, cage rust. It's about whether your body still has the ability to be able to respond in the same way when somebody forces you into like a chaos type situations for 15, 10 or 10, 15, 20 minutes straight, right? That's going to be the ultimate litmus test here. All right. It's targeted strategy, guys. I mean, Holloway is essentially helping Conor McGregor, giving him the blueprint, the script to what it is that he's going to do. Now Conor McGregor's got to look at that and he's got to dissect it and reverse engineer it so that that doesn't happen. But you could think that, you could feel that mentally, but physically, will your body be able to adapt to what your mind is thinking? That's the story. That's the question, guys, right now, because there's a layer that I've noticed in a lot of these discussions that it's often being missed. And Conor McGregor, he doesn't just fight the opponent. He fights expectation. He fights image. He fights pressure from the moment he walks in. He likes that. He thrives on that kind of chaos, right? And when rounds start slipping in like slipping away and like in a very heavy forward pressure pace, heavy fight, like where he's getting pressed up multiple times, that adds to the fear, and that's where Conor McGregor, usually prime Conor McGregor, would be able to pivot, make decisions on the fly, and be able to, because he has to re-strategize. See, in between the rounds, right? You have the fighter go back to his corner, right? And then once the fighter goes back to their corner, they have their team around them. They're constantly advising them, helping them re-strategize, you know, just kind of reset, calm down, think about the next round and going in with maybe a different plan or going in there with at least a better strategy. In this case, Conor McGregor was the kind of fighter who'd be able to switch the script, be able to just switch on the fly if he had to. Um, and that, again, those are the kind of traits that separate champions from other people, right? I mean, that's championship thinking. So it's going to be interesting to see if Conor McGregor still has that ability to be able to do that. But I mean, he's not just finding some, like, just some random UFC guy, just like someone who's just kind of struggling in the top 20. He's fighting. He's fighting a legend of his own, Max Holloway. And Max is the kind of guy, he's not going to take this match lightly. This is like balls to the wall for him. He's going to go in there, he's got a plan, and he's gung ho. I mean, I think he hates the fact that he has to wait till July 11th to execute his strategy. He wants to do it right now. He wants to do it right now. So I don't know if Conor McGregor's in the same mindset, but hey, I saw pictures of Conor McGregor recently and he looks pretty damn good. So he's definitely be doing the right things, obviously to look like that. So hopefully his training and everything is going well. But don't just think this is just some random comeback either, right? This could spell disaster for Conor McGregor, especially in the early rounds. We'll get to know within the first 2 minutes of round number one, first minute even. I mean, look, let's just be fair. Let's just say after round one, we're gonna get to know what exactly these guys have, what they're bringing to the table. I mean, sometimes you can't really call it after round one because round one's kind of like a feeling out round. The opponents are kind of getting used to each other's rhythm, style, approach. But then again, sometimes that could just be like a rope-a-dope kind of a situation, right? Where the other fighter doesn't really want to reveal everything that they have or their strategy. So they want to make the other opponent feel like that's what they're bringing to the table round after round. And then the next round, that opponent totally flips the script and goes to a different plan and really screws up the other guy's momentum. It could totally happen, right? So if Holloway pushes him hard early in the rounds, that psychological weight that I'm keep talking about becomes just as important as the physical one, right? And this is where fights start to break, not just from the damage, but from accumulation, all that forward pressure, right? Now, look, Max Holloway's biggest strength is also his biggest risk, right? He doesn't slow down. That relentless forward pressure, he keeps going and going and going. I mean, like he's a cardio nut. This guy's like an energizer buddy. I almost think of like Marab Valishvili, like this guy's like the energizer buddy. He just, even if you take the batteries out, that those guys just keep going. I mean, Max Holloway is the kind of guy, he likes to commit to pressure, right? So if McGregor doesn't still have that early round sharpness, then there's a real window where Holloway is exchanging in a very dangerous space longer than he should. And that's kind of where McGregor starts to flip scripts on folks, right? And one clean read, one counter, one moment, that's all McGregor needs to change the dynamics of the whole match. And it could be over for Holloway as quick as we think it might be over for McGregor, right? And everything changes at that point. So this becomes a clash of two extremes, right? McGregor needs that early precision. He needs timing to be on his side, and he's got to be very quick on the draw. And he's got to capitalize on the physicality as well, too. And the mind, the mental and the physical need to be in sync for McGregor to win, right? Holloway needs that long time erosion. He's going to wear and tear you. He's going to keep taking that axe to the tree, and he's just going to keep breaking it down, breaking it down, breaking it down. That relentless forward pressure. And the fight will be decided by who imposes their blueprint, their strategy, their timeline first, right? So my read on all this, guys, is very simple, right? If this fight reaches deep waters, deep rounds, the Max Holloway wins it clearly. Okay. I don't think the modern version of McGregor, after years of inactivity, can consistently handle that level of pace for 5 rounds. But the danger is clear. The danger is obvious. You don't get into deep waters safely with McGregor. That's the gamble. Holloway's willing to take it. He's willing to go there. So let's see what happens, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. Look, I have a feeling YouTube's just being really unfair with us. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on, guys. If I've been shadow banned, I don't know why. I mean, I don't have any strikes or anything against us. It is what it is, guys. I mean, I see other videos just no content, no nothing, and they're at like 13,000, 20,000 views, and we're struggling to even get past 10 views. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what happened I mean, we're still a new channel, but going from like several hundred views, few hundred views, all the way down to like less than 10, it's very disheartening, guys. But anyways, look, I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys enjoy it at least. And I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments, honestly. Really, it's about, you know, what happens? Like, does Conor McGregor still have it? Do you think he's going to bring that same level of oomph factor that he did in previous occasions when we used to see Conor McGregor? Do you think this time it's going to be different, and uh, his comeback is not going to be as welcoming as he anticipates, right? So, look, Holloway already feels like he has an answer for Conor McGregor. He's going to outpace him, outpressure him, and he's going to try to drown him round after round. I mean, in essence, that could be the fight, summarized in like one sentence. And if he's right, UFC 329, in my opinion, won't just be a comeback fight. It's just going to be a survival test. But I could be wrong, guys. I like both of these fighters, and they both bring very unique characteristics and skill sets to the table. But I want to know, what do you guys think? Who do you guys got winning this fight? Please put in your thoughts and comments. And guys, the pleasure was all mine. And of course, I look forward to catching you guys in the next one. I post every other day. I don't post daily anymore. I post every other day. If I feel like the views are kind of getting up there again, I'll post every day. I'll post twice a day. I don't care. But anyways, let me know what you guys think, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Have a good one.